Yeah, the early Warp and Bleep material, it was something that I just never kind of got over. I always come back to it. I think I've kind of put it to bed now with the restaurant thing. The Assassin project was basically the culmination of it all. And in some ways it's a rose-tinted view of dance culture, electronic music. It's me trying to get back to what brought me into the scene and what I loved about it. And of course you can never do that. It's impossible. You can't go back to culture at that time or that range of people and the politics of the time and the fashions. It just doesn't happen. But what I wanted to do and what I set out to do was to show the current generation the old style, but update it, mix it with the new style and present it. And I think I was pleased with it, and critically it was quite well received, and people liked it, and I think they understood that. So it's not, I'm not trying to say it's like dubstep. I think that's a sort of a confusion. I'm not saying that that's what I do at all. I'm just saying, it's just that another influence. And I think for me, the artists who are on the periphery of a scene, who aren't in the driving seat, they tend to draw from it and they don't get trapped in it. And I think there's a danger that if you get, I've seen it in my own music, in techno, it's like the Peace Frog material that I did in the mid-90s, Brown by August and all that, and then the Tresor material, you get fans who love that and they just don't understand why you don't want to do that for the rest of your life, and you've done it. It's like, once I've done Brown by August, that's that box ticked, that's it finished as far as I'm concerned. And I'm glad that people still like it and that people pay a lot of money for it on eBay, but for me, I'm not interested in it particularly artistically. I'm not going to do another set of tracks like that, because that was then and this is now. So. The thing with club world and rave world is that it has a very short lifespan. People come in and then they're out of it maybe 3 years later, punters. They'll come to clubs, they'll leave clubs because they move on with their lives. Artists as well, 4 years, something like that. The interesting artists tend to stay around and reinvent themselves or reinvent their sound. But no, I wouldn't say that I don't think there will be anything new. I think musical genius do come along and they'll come up with new moods, there's going to be a new beat that people dance to. It's just that the 4/4 one is kind of easy, But no, I'm quite positive about music. I think that it's too easy to be cynical. It's too easy to be negative. It's too easy to just put people down. I think the kids are all right. I think the kids will come up with something. I think you have to kind of believe that. I'm not a big kind of DJ culture fan, really, to be honest with you. I'm more of a producer's producer. I like musicians. I like people who use equipment and they're not about the cult of personality and this kind of, I don't really get the kind of photo shoots where you've got somebody going, "Arr," and they've got an air hostess uniform on and they've got a glitter ball hanging and it's all very stage managed. This is not my kind of thing. But if that's what keeps them getting the gigs, then I'm just not into the cult of personality. I don't like the kind of. I think the music should speak first, and then the image should follow that. And I think it shouldn't be the other way around. When it first became possible to do the editing and processing and arranging in Peak and Deck 2 and VST, I was like, wow, this is absolutely amazing. I really got into it for like a couple of years, the processing and granulizing and making sounds that you'd never heard before, because I think that originally the DSP stuff was like that. And then it just became... And so I did play with the laptop and made the majority of pro audio just through processing. But then gradually it just became like you went to see a live act and it was just some dude with his laptop, and it just looks and more often than not sounds very boring. And it just became very dull and very cliched. And I just dropped it. It's like I was saying, once I've done something, I tend to cast it off.